And I think one of the things that people have to understand is you can't just come here and automatically feel at home. Give yourself 3 months.
Yeah.
Because for me, and give yourself a couple of different apartments in different parts of town. I've been in 4. And now I'm where I love my apartment, I love the location, but it's not something that happens right away. And it really does take 3 to 6 months, I think, for you to get a feel for everything. And I think sometimes people come here and they just are too quick to judge. And I think that for me, it was the second time returning. And now people say, well, doesn't it feel like you're on vacation all the time? No, this is my life. I live. And I get up and I go grocery shopping and I clean my house, and it's just a normal routine. And this is home. And I'm very much at peace here. I'm very happy.
It's a pretty place to call home.
Yeah. I mean, I miss my young grandchildren. I do miss them. And unfortunately, sometimes families don't understand why we're living the way we're living.
Yeah.
But I think that at some point in our lives, we have to give ourselves a break and let the guilt go and say, what is going to make me happy at this stage of my life? And for me, it's Albania.
You know, it's just it's a calmer way of life.
It truly is. And I think if people would just step outside their comfort zone a little bit, you know, like we're always going home to visit our families. If our families would just take the chance and say, let's go see what it is that they love so much.
Right.
You know, I think that they would be surprised at, you know, the different lifestyle and just the peace that we have here and the friendships, you know, that become family.
They really do, and I think you're right to say, like, give it a couple of months.
Yeah.
I think a couple of months for us is when we really started to get into a little bit more of a routine, and it wasn't quite like vacation or short-term traveling mode. It felt real at that point. I think the other thing that at least stood out to me is, like, think about visiting it, like, from different seasonal aspects.
Absolutely.
So if you're really, like, worried, is the summer too hot, maybe come during the summer. And a lot of people travel during the summer too if they want to, like if they live in Saranda or one of the beach towns and they want to avoid the tourists, that's when they go on vacation. Or if you're here visa free and you need to reset your 90 days.
Yeah,
like you have several friends that do that, right?
I do, yeah. And you know, up until last year, I was one of those people, and I would, okay, where do I want to go for 3 months? Because I have to be gone for 90 days. So that's when you visit the family. That's when you go and we get, and again, the expats get together and we travel together. Like last year, we went to Bulgaria. You know, we had a wonderful time there. And so, I mean, it's just, it opens up so much more opportunity for travel and meeting new people and just a different way of life, a calmer, more peaceful way of life, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely felt more at peace, more calm, but at the same time, there's something new and exciting every day. I've never experienced so many people reaching out like, hey, do you want to travel to this place?
Yeah.
I mean, it just organically happens. You find friends, and then you start traveling with them pretty quickly. I mean, we went to Athens like a few months ago, and
4 of us, and it was a wonderful trip, and it was...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we go on these road trips all the time and just get together, and it's great. I mean, we do make friends with people that are passing through.
Yeah.
And so we befriend them, we show them around, and they may choose not to stay or whatever. But for the most part, we've made a lot of wonderful lifetime friends, I think. And
let's talk about, like, what your life's been like here, making friends, like integrating into the community.
Easy. Almost too easy. There's a really bubbling expat community here. It's busy, it's chaotic at times, but also organized in a weird way. I mean, you guys do get-togethers, for example, every week. So there's also restaurants, various restaurants around town, bars, where a lot of expats or immigrants meet up. And yeah, so you'll find your people. Integrating with the locals, as we already mentioned, if you make the slightest effort to speak their language, you're not going to have a hard time. They're willing to be, they're quite open to even befriending you too. It's not going to be right away, but once they see you, we were talking about this the other day, you know, if once they see you sticking around and you're respectful of the community and you shop here and you do things and you eat out here and you say hello, that's a big thing. When I meet eyes with somebody and they're crossing my path, I say hello in their language. And that goes a long way here. A huge, I can't stress that enough. make the effort to at least learn how to say hello. So I would say I have a good amount of local acquaintances and also a handful of Albanian friends, people that I consider me a friend, and I consider them a friend.
I think we can say the same thing, and I very much agree with what you said. Like, it's about making that little effort initially. It's about showing that you're sticking around, because in Saranda, at least, there is a lot of tourism. There is a lot of people coming and going, and the interactions that you're going to receive in like the height of tourist season is way different than when an Albanian person interacts with you in like December. Or like, why are you here? Oh, you're living here? Why? That's curious. Like, tell me more.
Yeah.
And that's been my experience,
Yeah.
at least.
Agreed.
And then you start to click with these people, and it uncovers a whole new level of friendship.
I don't know if you guys agree. It looks like a city here, but it's really a small town.
Oh yeah.
And you'll start seeing, people all over town, and they'll start recognizing. There's nothing I love more than I live. I don't know if you folks can see behind us, about halfway up this coastline, behind this palm behind Sam, and my walk here takes about 12 minutes to get downtown. And there's nothing I like more than maybe having 7 or 8 different shopkeepers or a waiter at a certain restaurant, or even people walking on the sidewalk saying hello, because they know me.
Yeah.
And I know them, and it's fantastic. I love that. So you have a small town feel once you've been here for a while.
I wanted to go somewhere in Europe, or, but a lot of European countries are much more difficult to get residency, and the process is a lot longer. And I just happened to stumble upon a few people who were in Albania and writing about how it's much more friendly for Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get 1 year residency, no questions asked, which is very unusual.
What made you decide on Saranda?
Well, initially I had thought that I'd want to live closer to the north, and perhaps Tirana or Durrës, and yet Tirana, it's for many people, it's a great city. There's culture, there's a lot to offer there. But for me, I've lived in New York City. It just wasn't.
You don't need the hustle bustle.
No, I didn't. And then going down the southern coast, going down south, I don't know. Here, it was just a feeling of home.
I felt that. I felt that too when we drove. We first drove over the hill, and I could see the sea. I had that intense feeling of, okay, this is it.
This is it.
This is it, yeah.
And honestly, so many people I know who have moved here and have been here many years, and it's one of the first things people ask each other, what brought you here, or how did you feel, why Saranda? And the first thing they say is, it felt like home.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something so beautiful about it, and geographically beautiful. Saranda isn't the most gorgeous city.
Architecturally, it's not the most gorgeous, but
all
where the sea meets the sky,
Yeah.
you have Greece and Corfu right there, and the most beautiful sunsets almost every single night.
And the most gorgeous beaches all around, and yet you drive 20 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes over the hill, and you're in the mountains.
And you're in the mountains. And in the winter, you see snow-capped mountains, and you can go to these small villages and meet people who are so welcoming, and just have a great Albanian meal and make friends.
Absolutely.
Really.
You've had a lot more experience traveling to the villages and exploring the region than I have. If I recall, you at one point offered tours and were doing a lot of tours and groups. Tell me a little bit about that experience and what you learned about the villages along the way.
Loved that experience. For me, it was about learning about the country and the people and the villages. You know, unfortunately, it's a lot like many places in the Balkans and throughout Europe. You know, it's Italy or wherever that the villages are emptying out. People
Mhm.
are leaving.
You have the brain drain.
Yes, yes, and a lot so here. Yet you'd come into a village and everybody was excited to see you. I could literally walk down the street with people, and people would be outside curious, like, you know, these strangers doing here. And they'd be like, come in, have some Rocky. And then they'd put out some fruit
Mm.
and, you know, just little things. I mean, it was something that I've never experienced in the US, ever.
Yeah.
Even in my travels throughout Europe, you know, though I've found many friendly people, not like that.
No, exactly.
And all the old ladies would invite me. They'd say, please stay over, please stay. It's just a completely different experience than I've had in so many places.
My language teacher, Lily, likes to say that in Albania, the home belongs to God and the guests.
And they do feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go to any home in Albania and they throw out the red carpet for you, you know, just put out, just making you feel welcome, as long as you take your shoes off.